We're going to go to our last speaker for this morning. Our last lightning talk is from Sam Hart, a data graphics reporter at Reuters, coming up to give us our last lightning talk before we head to lunch. Sam, the floor is yours.
Hello, can you hear me? I'll try to keep to my time so we can all go to lunch. All right, so this is a presentation I actually gave to my team, which is about 6 people, and there are a few more of you in here. So it was very participatory. I left those slides in there. We can't participate really, but I invite you to participate from your own seat.
Sam.
And yeah, let's do this.
Sam?
Yep.
Stay close to the mic for our virtual folks. That might mean picking up a hand mic if you need to.
Okay, cool. So in September 2023, I went on a trip to Los Angeles, and I promise this does have a data viz insight at the end, but I have a few photos of my trip. As a 6-foot-tall man, I can't recommend that you fly United on a flight that's more than, 20 minutes. Yeah, I made it to Silver Lake, this beautiful site, saw all the sites, took a few pictures. But something that stuck with me was when I went to a small Cuban cafe with my friends in Silver Lake. It's called Cafe Pical. It's very good. Recommend you visit. Very cute. But I was working, and I look up from my computer, and I see a poster hanging on the wall, and something just doesn't sit right with me about it. So this is the poster. Study it for a second. It's just, your aesthetic city map kind of thing with the label Havana, Cuba at the bottom, obviously relevant because, we're in a Cuban cafe. But I just don't think this is Havana, Cuba. I don't think that those streets are Havana, Cuba. I can't explain why, I just don't. I tell my friends, they're like, why, what are you talking about? Anyway, I immediately Google it, and as you can see, these look nothing alike. I mean, I'm all for breaking map rules and turning north upside down, whatever you want to do. I do think there are ways to do that more elegantly. But as you can see, the water, if we are to believe that this thing in the left-hand corner of the poster is the water, there's highways going into it, there's interchanges, there's, I don't know. So that was my first instinct. Then I looked at some of the hierarchies of the roads going around each city. It looks like, at its thickest, there are a few highways in Havana. There's really just this one in this poster, wherever it may be. I looked for whoever was selling this poster. There are a lot of street map posters of Havana, Cuba. I did find it. A lot of the other posters look like our Google Maps though, so that didn't really help. There wasn't like a description on this poster that I found online, just kind of vibes. Zoom in on street grids. These look very different, I'm sorry. I can't match them up anywhere. The Google Maps Havana has several rectangular grids that kind of are smushed together. This one's just a lot more simple. It's just a rectangular grid in the middle with a bunch of swirly kind of suburban looking streets around it. This did send me down a rabbit hole. There's a 17,000 word Wikipedia article about urban planning in Havana since the 1950s. So the city's a lot older than that, and there are apparently 17,000 words you can say about urban planning there since the 1950s. A lot of stuff about the mafia, colonialism, failed schools of urban architecture, et cetera, et cetera. And I think those smushed grid rectangle things are a sign of a city that's been under a bunch of different regimes, which is just not something I saw on the poster. Again, can't explain it. So yeah, I was puzzled. I kind of decided somehow that this looked like a US city to me on the poster. And, I could be wrong, but I wanted to start somewhere. So I looked at US cities comparable in population to Havana, Cuba. This is Phoenix, Houston. They look very different. They're also much busier, very complicated, lots of big highways, et cetera, et cetera. So I decided, maybe if this is an American city, it's smaller than Phoenix or Houston, but not like a tiny, tiny town. So these are my assumptions as of right now, as I'm trying to problem solve this, get to the bottom of this. Obviously, I'm going to test out all the American Havanas, and there are a lot of them, according to Wikipedia, again, handy tool in this journey. None of them look like the map, though. None of them look significant. There's a neighborhood in northern New Jersey that is very, has a lot of Cuban immigrants. It's just simply still not a map. And I did give up for a while. It's good to take a break sometimes, I guess, and not obsess over things that don't really matter. But yeah, so I decided to approach this via a pastime I often do, kind of when I'm just staring at my computer, which is scroll around on Google Maps, maybe like drop the street view in and look around at a random place. I don't know. And at first I was like, this could take forever. I could get nowhere, which is true. But then I was like, if I go with my assumption this is an American city, it's not as big as Houston, but it's bigger than these small, tiny Havanas. Maybe I can zoom around at a reasonable level and see shapes that kind of remind me of what I see in the map. I also know this big, thick highway, which I assume is an interstate, or at least just visible from a reasonable zoom level, goes east to west. So I can just go along the big highways that go east to west at a reasonable zoom level and come across it. It took a bit. I started seeing cities that were kind of almost there, but not quite. But it gave me hope. This is Abilene, Texas, kind of the same idea. I did end up finding the answer. I only have 7 minutes, so I wish I could build this up a little bit more, but you decide how I found it. It is Tallahassee, Florida. It's fully just a map of Tallahassee, Florida. You can see the airport in the corner. You can see this protected green space that they've made blue. Water is a different color blue, and you see our highway. And so now obviously we're all like, why? How did this happen? I still don't know. If you want to continue this journey and find me later, let me know. But there is a Havana, Florida, 16 miles away from Tallahassee. So I assume it has something to do with that. And my only takeaways from this for you is, why did I do this presentation? I have a captive audience in you. I assume you all care as much as I do. You like maps and research, presumably, but also kind of got me thinking about our instincts as data viz practitioners. I work with maps all day long. I think enough to have gut instincts about stuff like this. So pay attention to those, but also question them, research them, because as we, are entering this new world of automation AI, we're going to have to do this a whole lot more, I think. And there's value in what we do. So thank you.
Well, Sam, I think that was the right moment of levity to wrap up on at the end of the day and kind of bring us full circle around thinking about our instincts and hearing some of those themes around instincts in the context of an AI-enabled world. Does anyone have a question for Sam around his journey to Havana? Or Tallahassee, sorry, his journey to Tallahassee.
No, but I want to buy a new one for the cafe.
If you didn't hear that online, Sam is currently in the market for an actual proper vintage map of Havana to bring to the cafe. If you have a beautiful one you'd like to gift him in exchange for his amazing presentation, opportunity. It was wonderful to be able to have you wrap up our morning, Sam. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for Sam.